Hello everyone and welcome to my second video ever. Today we're gonna do something different than my first video. Good thing about this video is that we're not gonna be talking about Ubisoft.
Thank God.
We're gonna be doing a reaction video. When I say reaction, I don't mean just me staring at the screen and then video ends and I say my goodbyes. I would like to actually give some information about the game or the studio or whatever I'm noticing on the screen. I will be talking about the game. I will be pausing, and also I will be editing this video because I don't want to do another half an hour video just out of a reaction. This video in particular of the new Black Myth game. I loved the first one, Black Myth Wukong. I thought it was great. Obviously it had some problems here and there. They did a pretty good job for their first big game. So I'm very interested to see what are they going to do next. I have not seen this video yet, but they released it exactly 1 year after the first teaser. I have been saving this video. I have not watched it. So let's jump into it.
Let's just jump into it.
Now, Game Science, if you don't know, is the studio behind Black Myth Wukong, as I mentioned before. Weirdly enough, they started in like 2014 and they released a mobile game and like a turn-based or strategy game, something like that, and then immediately jumped into Black Myth Wukong. For maybe it took them like 7 years to develop it. I think they released the game in 2017 and then Black Myth Wukong came out in 2024. So it's a weird jump for them, but we'll see. Maybe there's an interesting story there on why they made that shift in their games. I'll explore it. If it's worth a video, I'll absolutely make a video about it. Okay, so already I'm noticing the lighting is improved on Black Myth Wukong. I think it's improved. I keep pausing in the wrong moment. I'm trying to capture a face. Here we go. Okay, so clearly the graphics are better than Black Myth Wukong. I can already tell they improved. Now, this should not come as a surprise because although Black Myth Wukong was developed on Unreal Engine 5 as well, the technology and Unreal, the leaps they've been doing every single time, should come with certain criticisms. That's for another video. But in terms of technical fidelity, they are constantly improving. And since this is another game made on Unreal Engine 5, they have already gathered so much experience working on Black Myth Wukong. And then they have that experience plus the improvements that the engine has gotten over the years. You get this result. So I like what I'm seeing. I mean, look at the guy's hand. You see the veins are like very visible. The skin ripples. The guy is old, so not a lot of collagen in that skin, and you can see all the wrinkles. Truly an old man's hand. The beard, the hairs. Look at the hair right here. I mean, it generally looks very, very impressive. Now, if they can run this at stable frame rate and everything like that, that would be great. But that's left to see for the actual gameplay. But I see a lot of improvement, and I'm liking it. It's a good fire effect. Also, it's a little bit darker. I'm noticing. It's a little bit darker. And like the color palette is a little bit more mute than Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong had more lushness, more vibrant colors. Very interested to see what they did with the combat. So obviously they improved on their visual style. They did some changes. I'm still noticing the darkness of the whole game. It's seemingly less vibrant in colors, but maybe the location will change that. Here we go. Okay, so the combat is different. You can already tell it's different than Black Myth Wukong. Ooh, just smooth that was. That was a parry, right? Oh my god, that looks beautiful. That looks beautiful. Watch this. Right here. I'm gonna play it again. Watch right here. Watch how he parries it. Ooh, My God, that was beautiful. See how he like the sword sort of like touched the sword. It didn't just like hit it away or like parry it away. He kind of played with the fluidity of that sword and sort of like took all the motion out of it and kind of like took control of the motion of the sword of the enemy and made it into a parry or block or whatever you want to call that. But that was very, very smooth. That animation was great. So yeah, let's see the other animations around that. I like that blood effect. It's not too overbearing, but it also kind of captures that little bit of that gruesomeness. Yeah, the blood reminds me. This is gonna be a weird reference, but the blood reminds me of what's that movie about like ninjas? I'm gonna look it up and play a clip here. You can hit multiple enemies at the same time, so it's like the hitbox can hit two. It's not necessarily locked to. Ooh. So this is a bigger enemy. Obviously, you can't parry the same way as the other ones. So you're more dodging, you're more avoiding the hit instead of trying to take it on and, flip it back to him or just parrying, blocking him off. Ooh. What was that? So that's a healing effect. Lord. I think he charged it. See that? Ooh. That was nice. That was nice. And they did it so beautifully. They let you fight the last guy, so that was still gameplay up to this point. So up to this point, it's gameplay, and then it switches to the cinematic, so it can allow this, and it drives back into sort of like it pulls you back into the story. So it pulls you back into the cinematic right out of combat. That was very smooth. That was very smooth. Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts about what I just saw. First things first, the combat is different. Definitely different than Black Myth Wukong. Is it better? I think so. I think they're just different. I don't think one is better than the other. Because from what I saw here, the combat is more contained. It's less acrobatic. It's less show off like Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong had a lot of acrobatics. You had the stick. You can do so many things with it. You can climb up and then hit down. It was like a monkey that had those that had that mobility. So it made sense for that. Now we're obviously here playing as a human being. I think he's a demon really who's hunting like other demons in folklore or whatever. I'm not too sure about the story yet. Clearly the character is human, so you'd expect him to kind of move that way. It would look uncanny if he moved the same way as the monkey in the previous game. But for this, it works beautifully because what we saw is the combat is more contained and it feels less about evading the hits like in Black Myth and more about staying there and sort of blocking and parrying and doing there was evasion and you're evading the bigger enemies, but most of the time he was actually parrying or blocking. And you can tell this is the focus of the game now because of how much focus went into the animations for the parrying and the blocking, which was the thing that captured me at first. I mean, the animations, they did them very, very beautifully in Black Myth Wukong. It was one of the highlights of that game. That and the bosses, obviously. I haven't seen much here in terms of just like this is an odd enemy design. I like it. Ooh, we got fire bombs. Okay, he's charging the sword. So the weapon now, we went from the stick with the monkey to a sword, and obviously the sword has some powers. Right now he's fighting with it and he's like lighting people on fire, so that's great. I like the animations of the fire. They're very beautiful. So I was talking about the similarity between it and the God of War game or games, especially the new ones, because if you remember, the first trilogy was more hack and slash, and then when they did the remaking or the remaster, whatever you want to call it, I mean, industry terms are so confusing these days, but when they did recreate the game, they changed the camera position, they changed the combat style, they did a lot of those things, and they did more of this one take shot of telling story. Seeing similarities in how to tell a story, the camera, you know, the idea on how to improve on combat. That water looks beautiful. The rain. And they also shot this in aspect ratio 21:9, which makes it look more cinematic. So they're leaning more into that telling a cinematic story. And that would be very much helped by containing sort of the combat in one place. We never really had the chance to play like games that are based on Chinese folklore, which is very rich in history. It's very rich in stories and, you know, characters and monsters that come from a whole different culture than what we're used to. So they're gonna look different. They're gonna look interesting, and it's a good thing that now we're seeing more of this. I mean, look at this. What is this? Wow. You see what I'm talking about? These are the kind of characters that come from a lot of history and human creation that is not explored in video games. You can watch Chinese movies and find some of these, you know, characters, but Chinese history is very, very extensive, and so there's a lot of stories to tell. There's so much to draw from for a game or a movie or whatever. And we're finally seeing it. So that's a point to game science for me. All right, so we remove these shells, and now the combat style is sort of changing. See how he even parried a boss? It was beautiful. It looked smooth. So he's sort of also using help that you can summon, apparently. So he kind of functions like a decoy and an attack partner. You can see the boss is locked into... Oh, no, now it switched the lock, but it was locked into the decoy. Or the summon. Oh, wow. So he went into the thing he summoned. That was nice. That was nice. And this changes the way that you fight. It looks beautiful, though. Wow. And now it changed back to yourself. Oh, who's this? Nope. Could have done without that. Right, so I had to go get a delivery. I'm not gonna change back into suit just for the sake of ending the video. I mean, we've already seen everything we needed to see. Visuals wise, it looks like Black Myth Wukong, but a lot better. I loved it. I'm very excited for it. I'm looking forward to see more of it. Till then, peace out.